All right, gentlemen. Next question for you guys. You know, a couple weeks ago we did top five movies, and we've also done top five love songs. So this week's top five list is TV comedies. TV comedies, best or top five TV comedies of all time. Mitchell, you're up first today. What do you got, bro? What's on your list?
Well, it's funny. As the oldest one of the group, I've probably been around and seen a lot more than you guys. I did some research, got it down to 12, and I know I've left a few of them off, but not in this order. I really enjoy writing when it comes to comedies. It's not just about the performances. So, like Big Bang Theory and Friends were really big for me. Frasier, Rules of Engagement, Taxi, and the number one for me was MASH. Okay. Just pretty simple without going into a whole lot of it. I got Prince of Bel-Air on there as honorable mention. Just writing has got to be really good along with the acting.
Now, man, during your childhood, man, did you spend a lot of time watching television? Like I know, it's different for all of us.
In high school, I caught on to old reruns from the 60s and 70s. And I would spend an hour and a half a day watching all three of them back to back to back. And that was Get Smart, Hogan's Heroes, and F Troop.
Wow.
And Hogan's Heroes, still one of my favorites. Get Smart was pretty slapstick, which is kind of me. Those are the three. And then I learned to watch MASH at that time, but it was still just once a week at that point.
All right, Nemo. So Nemo, as the foreign constituent in Mass, man, we always talk about it, man. What was your TV watching experience like growing up, man?
Comedy, correct?
Yeah.
Comedy wise, Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
I like Seinfeld.
That's surprising for me, man. Believe it or not.
Yeah, Seinfeld. It's one tall, skinny guy that always just pop, just walk right in and scream for no reason.
Kramer.
I don't know.
Kramer.
Yeah, I love Kramer. He's the highlight. The Big Bang Theory, just like Mitch. Friends, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Despite what Will Smith did, it's okay. I still love him.
Appreciate the
and
talent.
Of course, my number one, Martin, brother man from the fifth floor.
Martin, okay.
That's right.
Like when you first what age were you when you came over? Nemo?
Teenage years, 13, 14.
Teenage years. And like when you first came over, like what was the show back then, man? Like what was your go-to show?
The go-to show back then was Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was into Seinfeld constantly. Of course, then Martin came along. I just fell in love with brother man from the fifth floor, and that was my highlight. Martin Lawrence. I mean, I think he acts maybe 3 or 4 different characters on that show.
He has quite a few.
Car dealership. One of my favorite songs. Don't you know no good?
Don't you know no good? That was like
good. I just love everything about that show. So that's why it's my number one. But Friends also was just classic. Everybody loved Friends. So.
Okay.
But those were my top 3 right there.
All right. And before we get to Nas, let me give you my top list here. So Cheers growing up was a big one for me.
Yeah.
That was a show, and it made me want to become a bartender. And I was a bartender for a long time, man. Something about, the characters and, just like coming into a place where everybody knew you and everybody was friends and you guys went through adventures, so that was really one of my favorites growing up. Like, even through all of the other main characters, like, it was Shelley Long, and then you had Kirstie Alley. So even throughout all the changes, it was still a great show. The writing was really good. So the most of the other ones are relatively new that I really like. So Parks and Recreation is a great show. It's a show, a lot of people compare it to The Office, but the thing I appreciate the most about Parks and Rec is like the reoccurring characters. Right. Office had a lot of great characters, but a lot of them didn't reoccur. But there were like a bunch of reoccurring characters that worked in the, in the government on the show that would just keep coming back. And something about it, that show was really funny. And it just, it just made me laugh. And I probably watched it beginning to end, all 6 seasons, maybe about 3 or 4 times. So Parks and Recreation. Curb Your Enthusiasm. So the guy who created Seinfeld, Larry David, he just had season 11 on HBO, and just really funny stuff. And the good thing about doing a comedy on HBO is like there's not so many rules, right? So there's no problems. There's some subject matter that you can really talk about and make fun of on HBO that you can't necessarily do like on NBC, like Seinfeld had to do. So that's a great show. Blackish. I really enjoy Blackish. Something about it, like when I was looking through the list and I was like, Cosby, I enjoyed Cosby growing up, but I think Blackish will actually, it will mature even better than Cosby will. The writing is really good. The kids all have very specific characters, and I think having Lawrence Fishburne on the show is, it really just adds a little something. So the acting is really good. The writing is really good. Like the guy who wrote it, I think his name is Kenyon Barris. He did a Netflix show, one season called Black as Fuck. So funny. But Blackish is a great show, and probably one of my favorite shows of all time. Surprisingly enough, for someone who's not political at all, I love Veep. It's the Julie Louis-Dreyfus. She's the vice president, and it's a hilarious show every season. And she's won. I want to say she won like 6 Emmys doing that character. So it's a terrifically written show. The acting is great. It's an ensemble cast. Like that's, to me, I love ensemble cast where each character is very distinct, and and they just bring a certain flavor to the show. So those are my 5. I had some other honorable mention: Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Taxi.
Taxi.
Yeah, it's Always Sunny, and Good Times. So those are just good times when I was a kid, man. Just that's kind of that was like our first chance between that and the Jeffersons to like see black people on TV on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So
Jeffersons
I have a question
was
for you, Rob.
Yes, sir.
Record breaking.
Hey, so did you say Blackish is better than Cosby?
I think the writing is a little better, man. Like when I watch it now, I think it's a little edgier. And I like that type of humor a little bit more. It's a different type of humor. Like it's sarcastic, and it's kind of poking fun in a different way. Yeah. I like the writing a little better.
Okay.
All right. Now it's your brother.
Me, number 1, The Cosby Show, man.
Okay.
The Cosby Show is it, man. It's the standard. There's nothing negative to say about that show, man. The writing was good. The characters were good. Cosby managed to talk to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was a black family, but he talked to everybody, man. And I think that's what made that show a success, because everybody could relate to the stories that were being told on there. And Cosby did. He was the first time you saw 2 professional black people in a house, and they were talking about the real issues that go on. But those issues were universal issues. They were black, but they were universal issues.
It's also the first time you saw an affluent couple that were both black.
Exactly, and they were both right,
which really showed Americans like, hey, look, man, we can do everything you can do. Yep.
Exactly. It was based on the WASP kind of foundation, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant kind of base, right?
Yep.
And it showed the world that there are people out there of color like that it's not just good times.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 show is Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Martin was what the Cosby Show was for a younger couple. They were a monogamous couple. They didn't have cheating problems on Martin. They didn't have abuse problems on Martin, like he wasn't beating her up. They didn't show this sick dynamic that we have right now, where the guy is a pushover by the woman, and we didn't have it where the woman was dogged out by the man. Like it was a true partnership on Martin, man. And he had his whole peer group. He had white people on the show, which is how our lives are. Like we always have, like if you are a black person that is moving in life and you're getting outside of your neighborhood, you got a white friend, right? If you're a white person, you ain't got a black friend, you racist like a motherfucker. Because that means that you aren't even trying. You know what I'm saying?
I think that depends on where you live at, bro, too, man. Like some just don't have access, man.
Could be
unless you
geographical.
live in like bumfuck Iowa,
Alaska.
and even then you're gonna find black people there, man. I've been to these places, man. They there. Now that means that you have to really make an effort to do that. So there, I mean, we can always find, you know, somebody there's always a situation where it can work, right? But in general, most places there's black and white people, right? And they displayed that on Martin and on Cosby, right? Even on Blackish. My third one is Seinfeld, man. Like Seinfeld was the show that started my intellectual journey. Like just the way that they talked, the way that the way that the way they communicated was not like anything that was in my house, you know? And I loved it. I just loved the way they put those things together. It was just funny as hell. And it was a show about nothing, but it was a show about everything, which I
everything exactly.
Yeah, which I thought was just fantastic, man. So that's an all-time great for me. Number 4, man, is Cheers, man, because whenever I watched Cheers, man, I felt good, man.
Mm-hmm.
The theme song, man, it makes you feel good. I feel good right now, man.
We want to go where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, man. You know what? It's like Rob. Remember when we got up, man? You was like, "Yo, man, I'm downstairs," and we went on those couple of walks, and then we would go to the coffee shop, and then this slow bastard would always come down late. It's like that. I knew you guys were coming. I knew it, right? Mm-hmm. And Cheers was like that. Like it was a place where everybody knew each other. We helped each other with our problems, and we felt safe, right? People on that show felt safe, man. They were vulnerable with each other, man. I loved it, man. And my 5th favorite TV show, is Atlanta.
Yeah,
because Atlanta is showing the common black person's perspective, not the professionals, but it's also showing that even those guys at that place in their life, they still have character, they still have intelligence, they still are thinking about things on about, you know, they're contemplating life, even though they're doing it in that hood kind of way, right? And I think that comedy is I like it a little bit better than Blackish, because Blackish started getting preachy to me. I'm like, man, shut the hell up. Like, how much more of this shit do we have to listen to? You know, like it just got preachy, man. Like, you know, and I understand that there's a lot of people that don't know about Black history. And Blackish is a good show. I'm just saying it. To me, a weekly dose of it for a non-believer is like going to church.
I got you.
Hard to sit through that shit.
I got you. You know what, man? I'm surprised by a lot of our lists, but not surprised, and you know that we all have a lot of things in common, man. Because I love Seinfeld, man. I love Seinfeld too, and it looks like Mitch really loves Seinfeld.
Absolutely.
You know, so you know that's amazing how much impact that show had on everybody. It went across color lines.
All of our lists had it, right?
I mean, it.
Nemo,
you know,
did you have it on your list?
He did.
Seinfeld?
Yes,
sir. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I love Seinfeld, man. As a matter of fact, I've probably seen every episode like 5 or 6 times of Seinfeld.
Well, it's like I'll walk around the house and something that most people would just look past as, oh, this happened today. Mm-hmm. These guys made fun of everyday things that people just walk past or blow off. That's where the nothing comes from. And like Nas and I almost said it at the same time, it's really everything. It's everyone's life and everyone can relate to it.
And not
think
everybody.
Think about the meat guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the guy at the store, giving you a hard time about the freaking meat. I mean, it's stuff like that you go through, and they made fun of it.
Yeah.
And it's stuff that everybody can relate to.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on to the next topic.